Welcome, one and all, to the Pokemon Hunger Games Episode 2. This is your host, Sparky129, and today I shall introduce you to our contestants. So, today we have 12 districts, all competing to see who will go on to the final episode of this year, where all the winners will converge to see who stands out the best. Last week it was our winner Lombre. Let's see who wins this week. Over in District 1, we have a shiny Starly. Such a puny thing. A Poltergeist, a Berserker, and a Sobble. Over in District 2, we have Glastrier, a shiny Matang, a Luxray, and an Octozolt. I'm guessing you guys can sense a pattern here. No, not yet? Okay, let me continue then. Over in District 3, we have Spheal, Cursula, a shiny Dugong, and Weavile. Over in District 4, we have Pinsir, Suicune, Galarian Mr. Mime, and a shiny Oranguru. Can you sense a pattern now? Over in District 5, we have a Chansey, shiny Clawitza, is that how you pronounce it? An Aggron, and Swablu. Over in District 6, we have Hoot Hoot, shiny Scizor, Tyrant, and Tailo. You guys can see the pattern now, can't you? Over in District 7, we have Palkia, Clobbopus, Spectrier, and a shiny Mainful. Over in District 8, we have shiny Ekans, a Gallade, a shiny Gigalith, and Dracloak, is that how you pronounce it? Over in District 9, we have Silcoon, shiny Steelix, Zacian, and Eevee. Over in District 10, we have Clauncher, shiny Drillbur, Zangoose, and Tynamo. In District 11, we have shiny Caterpie, Riolu, shiny Dragonite, and Volcarona. In District 12, the final one, we have Pyroar, Pikipek, shiny Rhyhorn, and Yanma. Let's move on to the beginning, the Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Aggron decides to run away, not getting anything. Oranguru grabs a backpack, but unfortunately it turns out to be empty. Caterpie repeatedly stabs Rhyhorn to death with Face. Dragonite breaks Silcoon's nose for a basket of bread. Just as you should. Bread's delicious. Drillbur runs away as well, not getting a single thing. And same with Clawitza. Luxray scares Ekans away from the cornucopia. Mr. Mime runs away as well. Berserker runs away. Tyrant sets off an explosive, killing Dracloak and Chansey. Suicune grabs a jar of fishing bait while Clobbopus gets fishing gear. Tynamo runs away as well. Poltergeist grabs a backpack and he doesn't know it was empty. Swablu runs away, not getting a single thing either. Palkia and Dugong fight for a bag. Unfortunately, Dugong gives up and retreats. Yanma grabs a shovel. Sobble takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. Pikipek decides to run away, fly away, whatever word you want to use. Tailo and Hoot Hoot both run away as well. Steelix runs away and so does Clauncher. Zangoose runs away and so does Spheal. Mainful runs away and so does Pinsir. Eevee runs away. Spectrier breaks Weavile's nose over a basket of bread. That bread, ladies and gentlemen, must be very, very important. Gigalith grabs a jar of fishing bait while Gallade grabs fishing gear. Starly runs away. Zacian runs away. Pyroar clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Scizor runs away and Riolu runs away. Matang finds a canteen full of water. Glastrier runs into the cornucopia and hides. Volcarona finds a backpack full of camping equipment, the first full bag of the day. Cursula gathers as much food as she can with her stubby little arms. And Octozolt grabs a shovel. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Bloodbath complete. Let's see what happens on day 1. Day 1. Caterpie practices his archery. Don't know where he has hands, but oh well. Eevee defeats Palkia in a fight, but spares his life. Oh, Palkia, you lucky thing. You got defeated by a little Eevee. Berserker makes a slingshot. Well, he's got metal, he can do it. Yanma dies trying to escape the arena. That shovel doesn't seem to have come in handy after all. Tyrant attacks Cursula, but she manages to escape. How do you lose a big thing, Tyrant? Gallade picks flowers. Quite the opposite of what you would expect. Gigalith receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Zacian questions his sanity. Volcarona steals from Clauncher while he isn't looking. Steelix receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, looks like something's happening as a group. Scizor, Ekans, Pikipek and Sobble will raid Starly's camp while he is hunting. And down here, Matang tries to be lazy and not get anything done. Dragonite discovers a cave. Perfect! Dragons need caves every now and again. Oranguru throws a knife into Glastria's head. Don't know how because it's full of ice, but it happens. Poltergeist discovers a cave. Ghosts need caves as well sometimes, guys, don't you know? Drillbur receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Zangoose searches for a water source. Luxray receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Suicune also receives a hatchet. Pinsir tends to Mainfu's wounds. A bug and a fighting user teaming up, how nice. Dugong searches for a water source. Perfect, you're a water type, you need it. Swablu and Tynamo work together for the day. Weavile sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. He doesn't want to get close to fire, ladies and gentlemen, you know, being an ice type and all. Arctozolt picks flowers for his day. Cloetza and Agron track down and kills Spheal. Another death. Unfortunate. Riolu steals from Taylor while she isn't looking. Oh no, another thief. Clobbopus camouflages herself in the bushes. How do you try to camouflage? You're orange and white and a bit of dark purple, I would say, on your fists. How do you hide in bushes? Spectria overhears Hoot Hoot and Silcoon talking in the distance. And Mr. Mime steals from Pyro while he isn't looking. That is day 1 complete, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens next. 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance for our following tributes. Rhyhorn from District 12. Dracloak from District 8. Chansey from District 5. Yanma also from District 12, Glastria from District 2, and Spheal from District 3. And the following night we have Pikipek questioning her sanity. Mainfu pushes Drillbur off a cliff during a knife fight. Oh dear, he wouldn't have stood a chance. Poltergeist defeats Swablu in a fight but spares her life. And then Tynamo lets Dugong into her shelter. Such nice fish. A seal and a fish working together. How nice. Caterpie tends to his wounds. Scizor somehow starts a fire. I wonder how that could have been. Pyro stays awake all night, looking for a fight, I assume, being a lion. Silcoon sees a fire but stays hidden. Of course you would, a bug type. Eevee, Tyrant, Matang and Cloetza tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Gallade, Suicune and Zangoose chiefly sing songs together. Taylor defeats Berserker in a fight but spares his life. Weavile receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Spectria, Ekans, Steelix and Clobbopus and Hoot Hoot sleep in shifts, as if they're working together. The 2 shinies are working together with the other 3, nice. Palkia climbs a tree to rest, somehow finding a branch that is big enough to support its weight. Zacian sees a fire but stays hidden. Riolu attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Agron cries himself to sleep just like the big baby he is. Mr. Mime destroys Luxray supplies while he is asleep. How did you sneak up though? Volcarona receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Of course. Someone wants Volcarona to win. Starly starts a fire. That's it. Just a fire. Oranguru cooks her food before putting her fire out. How do you get a fire? You use your leaves? Did you do something else? You're a monkey. Never mind. Pinsir set up camp for the night. Just that. A camp. Arctozolt forces Gigalith to kill Dragonite or Cursula. He decides to kill the only other shiny in this group, Dragonite. How unfortunate. Not Dragonite, no! Clauncher is awoken by nightmares of seeing a shiny Cloetza around. And Sobble dies trying to escape the arena. Not the new water starter. Let's see what happens the following day, on day 2. Taylor and Pyro split up to search for resources. Let's see what they find later on. Suicune collects fruit from a tree somehow. Berserker hunts for other tributes, being the murderous savage he is. Cursula practices her archery with no arms. Jugong, Mr. Mime, Gigalith and Matang hunt for other tributes. Weavile, Hoothoot, Oranguru and Zacian raid Aggron's camp while he is hunting. Volcarona, Palkia, Ekans, Spectria and Steelix hunt for other tributes. There's now 2 groups hunting for other tributes. Clarissa collects fruit from a tree. Well, it looks like you fly a little bit, but that might be fine. Scizor injures herself, like the klutz she is, somehow walking when she can fly. Arctisol diverts Luxray's attention and runs away. Swablu receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Mainfood diverts Eevee's attention and runs away. Riolu scares Pinsir off. Interesting. The bigger one runs away. Starly scares Silcoon off. Now that makes perfect sense. Although why didn't you take care of it properly? Pikipek constructs a shack full of sticks and leaves. Like a nest. Gallade attacks Tynamo, but she manages to escape. Being the little one, being a big one, she escapes. Caterpie hunts for other tributes, just by itself. Nothing to see here. Poltergeist tends to Zangoos's wounds. Clauncher overhears Clobbopus and Tyrants talking in the distance. Surprisingly, he hasn't come across Cloyster yet. And 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Drillbur from District 10, Dragonite from District 11, and Sobble from District 1. Let's see what happens on night 2. Palkia and Riolu run into each other and decide to truce for the night. The 2 Sinnoh Pokemon working together. Tynamo goes to sleep. Nothing to see here, just a sleeping fish. Clauncher cooks his food before putting his fire out. Somehow getting fire in the first place. Clobbopus lets Clarissa into her shelter. The 2 fish-like things working together a little bit. Weavile, Arctisol, Volcarona and Scizor sleep in shifts. Would Weavile be the first one? No. Mainfool cooks her food before putting her fire out. Simple as that. Berserker begs Mr. Mime to kill him. He refuses, keeping Berserker alive. Mr. Mime's not murderous in any way. So far, Suicune, Taylor and Hoothoot discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Jugong and Luxray tell its stories about themselves to each other. Being from different regions, that makes perfect sense. Tyrant receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Zacian thinks about home. Oh dear, your home wasn't very active, was it? Eevee cries herself to sleep. Getting some nightmares, are you? Caterpie loses sight of where he is. He's so small, the world is so big, who knows? Steelix loses sight of where she is. You are big, how did you lose sight? Gallade receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Ekans, Aggron, Pikipek and Swablu tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Poltergeist tends to Pinsir's wounds. Somehow Pinsir got injured. And somehow you can touch things outside of your teapot. Gigalith tries to sing himself to sleep. Pyro begs for Starly to kill him. He refuses, keeping Pyro alive. A bird keeping a lion alive. Whoever saw that? Oranguru stays awake all night, thinking about what might happen. Spectrier and Cursula fight Zangoose and Matang. Spectrier and Cursula survive. Goodbye Zangoose, goodbye Matang. And Silcoon thinks about home. Her new home is now in the Hunger Games. Who knew? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on to day 3, and the first thing we see is Gigalith spraining his ankle while running away from Hoothoot. Who's ever seen a big scary monster running away from a little owl? Not I. Taylor sprains her ankle while running away from Mr. Mime. Why can't you just fly away? Suicune tries to spear fish with a trident. How did you get a trident? Scizor stalks Pikipek to see what Pikipek is doing. Berserker sprains his ankle while running away from Caterpie, because Caterpie is on a murderous rampage right now. Poltergeist overhears Spectrier and Weavile talking in the distance. Riolu, Silcoon, Swablu, Zacian, and Steelix hunt for other tributes, and Volcaronus finds some potions. Very good, very good. One smart Pokemon right here. Oranguru and Ekans split up to search for resources, the two shinies sticking together. Tyrant discovers a cave. Octozolt overhears Tynamo and Pinsir talking in the distance. Starly and Aggron hunt for other tributes. A little bird who's on a murderous rampage, who knew? Clobbopus finds some potions, another smart mon. Cursula tries to spear fish with its imaginary trident. Palkia sprains his ankle while running away from Pyro, a big monster running away from a lion, who knew? Luxray severely slices Dugong with a sword, somehow, holding it. Maybe Luxray is like a wannabe Zacian. Kloitza practices her archery, holding the bow in one arm, using something else to hold it and pull the string. You have to use my imagination for that, I'm sorry. Eevee falls into a frozen lake and drowns. One murderous rampage is now finished. Mainful practices her archery. That makes a lot more sense. Clauncher attacks Gallade, but she manages to escape. You little thing will never catch up to something like Gallade. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Zangoose from District 10, Matang from District 2, Dugong from District 3, and Eevee from District 9. Let's see what happens on night 3. Pikipek thinks about home. No matter, you are home now. Hehehehe. Hoot Hoot and Gigalith sleep in shifts. Suicune kills Palkia with his own weapon. Oh dear, Palkia is now gone. Clauncher and Octozolt tell stories about themselves to each other. Ekans sets up camp for the night, cause you know, even Pokemon need to sleep. Starly receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. You gotta get those potions up. And up. And up. Especially if you're a shiny. Aggron thinks about winning. You very well might at this point, who knows? Steelix defeats Volcarona in a fight, but spares her life. Mr. Mime starts a fire, somehow, being an ice type. Clobbopus thinks about home. Well, there's no home for you anymore except in the arena, Miss Little Clobbopus. Caterpie loses sight of where he is. Oh dear, poor little Caterpie. Gallade quietly hums, content in knowing that he's safe. Luxray, Zacian, Pinsir, Tyrant, and Berserker track down and kill Oranguru. Cursula severely injures Swablu and leaves her to die. Oh dear, Swablu is gone and another shiny is down. Kloitza is awoken by nightmares. Tailo flies into a tree because she needs her rest. She, I don't know. Mainfu and Pyro tell stories about themselves to each other from different regions. That makes perfect sense. Dynamo stays awake all night. Sizzle receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Silcoon severely injures Spectria and leaves him to die. Not another Galarian horse gone. Poltergeist and Weavile hold hands somehow, and Riolu is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. And that is now day 4. Silcoon receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor, and so does Globopus. Mainfu constructs a shack all for himself. Taylor receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor, something very much needed. Aggron receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, something you don't always need. You are weak to water. Hoot Hoot unknowingly eats toxic berries. Ow. Octozolt explores the arena, while Gallade goes hunting to search for more food. Gigalith searches for firewood. You know, it's important for a rock to be warm, don't you know? Berserker tries to sleep through the entire day, like the lazy steel cat it is. Mr. Mime taints Volcarona's food, killing her. Weavile sprains her ankle while running away from Riolu. Sizzle receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor, while Zacian hunts for other tributes all by himself with that giant sword of his. Clauncher defeats Caterpie in a fight but spares her life, while Cursula, Poltergeist, and Steelix hunt for other tributes. Tyrant steals from Starly while he isn't looking, while Suicune, Pikipek, Luxray, Ekans, and Tynamo hunt for other tributes. Pinsir kills Pyro for his supplies. You know, a bug needs to kill a fire lion. don't you know? And Clarissa finds some potions. 7 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Palkia from District 7, Oranguru from District 4, Swablu from District 5, Spectria from District 7, Hootoos from District 8, Volcarona from District 11, and Pyro from District 12. Let's continue to the night and see what happens. Night 4. Scizor finds some potions that may come in handy, while Clauncher not longingly thinks about home. Zacian receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Riolo shoots an arrow at Starly, but misses and instead kills Mr. Mime. You know, the usual missing with an arrow. Cursula, Luxray, and Ekans cheerfully sing songs to each other. Cheerfully, 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 cheerfully. Steelix convinces Suicune to snuggle with her, without using her weakness as an advantage. Gigalith sees a fire but stays hidden, while Berserker thinks longingly about home, knowing he'll never get back. Aggron thinks about winning. Again, you very well might. This is the second time you're thinking about it, Mr. Aggron. Pikipek and Clobbopus huddle for warmth. The two small ones gotta stick together. Tyron thinks about home, knowing that his home was far, far away and long, long ago. Hopefully a Star Wars reference. Mainful defeats Gallade in a fight, but spares her life. You know, the two fighting types gotta test their skills somehow. Dynamo looks at the night sky, seeing all the stars up in the sky, counting them, seeing what star signs he can see. Taylor stays awake all night, possibly doing the same thing. Octozolt, Silcoon, Weavile, and Clarissa sleep in shifts, while Caterpie fears Poltergeist somewhere, while Pinsir tends to his wounds to end the night. On day 5, Clobbopus camouflages herself in the bushes once again, while Mainful receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Scizor picks flowers, because you know, a steelbug needs flowers. Taylor begs for Clarissa to kill her. She reluctantly obliges, killing poor little Taylor. Weavile scares Dynamo off. Octozolt makes a slingshot somehow. Caterpie searches for firewood, no longer on a murderous rage, while Tyrant tries to spear fish with a trident, with its stubby little arms. Cursula tries to spear fish with a trident, considering you have no arms. How? Gigalith tries to spear fish with a trident, considering you don't have hands. How? Pinsir unknowingly eats toxic berries. How sad. Silcoon makes a slingshot. How? Steelix, Suicune, Riolu, and Aggron hunt for other tributes, working together once again. Gallade questions her sanity. On a side note, I realize Gallade should not be a female. Pikipek sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to go closer. Luxray scares Zacian off. A dark dog getting up to a big dog and scaring it away. Berserker fishes. Ekans cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Oh no, another shiny gone. Poor Ekans. Clauncher camouflages himself in the bushes, while Starly searches for firewood. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Mr. Mime from District 4, Poltergeist from District 1, Taylor from District 6, Pinsir from District 4, and Ekans from District 8. What's gonna happen on night 5? Well, let's see. Pikipek and Steelix tell stories about themselves to each other, while Suicune destroys Clobbopus's supplies while she is asleep. Octozolt receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, while Dynamo destroys Clauncher's supplies while he is asleep. Luxray receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor, but Aggron sees a fire and doesn't go near it, while Berserker, that sneaky little metal cat, starts a fire. Riolu fends Zacian, Tyrant, and Cursula away from her fire. How do you keep a ghost away, you fighting guy? Mainful fends Silcoon, Gallade, and Starly away from her fire. Now that makes a bit more sense. Weavile tries to sing herself to sleep. Scizor tries to sing herself to sleep as well, while Caterpie and Gigalith hold imaginary hands, and Clarissa tends to her wounds. Day 6. Pikipek receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor, while Mainful steals from Suicune while she isn't looking. Silcoon defeats Berserker in a fight but spares her life. Scizor, Zacian, Cursula, and Gigalith hunt for other tributes. Agron and Riolu split up to search for resources, while Steelix diverts Starly's attention and runs away, or dives underground more like. Cloverpuss collects fruit from a tree. Arctozolt and Luxray work together for the day. Clowitzer constructs a shack just for himself, while Caterpie camouflages himself in the bushes. Gallade decapitates Tyrant with a sword, while Clauncher heals Tynamo and Weavile with their potions. Now for one cannon for Tyrant in District 6. On night 6, here we have Silcoon, Starly, Gigalith and Clowitzer telling each other ghost stories. Suicune set up camp for the night. Sizzle catches Cursula off guard and kills her. Clauncher, Main Fool, Tynamo and Zacian sleep in shifts, while Steelix accidentally steps on a landmine, killing him instantly. Riolu receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Cloverpuss and Agron sleep in shifts, while Arctozolt receives clean water for the night. Luxray, Gallade and Pikipek discuss the games and what might happen the rest of the time. Weavile passes out from exhaustion. Berserker thinks about winning, and Caterpie thinks about winning. You too could win, especially since you're on a murderous rampage at one point. The next day, day 7, Cloverpuss injures herself. Such a great start to the day. Scizor severely injures Arctozolt and leaves her to die. How sad. Goodbye, Arctozolt. You'll be missed. Luxray receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, while Gallade searches for firewood. Zacian attacks Agron, but Starly protects him, killing Zacian. Oh no, you're back to your murderous rage, how sad. Clauncher defeats Riolu in a fight, but spares her life. Silcoon, Main Fool and Pikipek unsuccessfully ambush Tynamo, Caterpie and Weavile, who kill them instead. So another shiny is down, but another shiny still lives. Suicune sprains her ankle while running away from Clowitzer. Clowitzer is starting to get aggressive now, and Gigalith scares Berserker off. 7 cannon shots for the fallen tributes can be heard. Cursula from District 3, the shiny Steelix from District 9, Arctozolt from District 2, Zacian also from District 9, Silcoon also from District 9, and Main Fool from District 7, and Pikipek from District 12. The next night, night 7, Weavile finds some potions, while Berserker and Agron work together to drown one other shiny who's on a murderous rampage. You know who that is? Starly. Luxray and Gigalith huddle for warmth, while Gallade tries to sing to herself. Suicune's trap kills Caterpie. Another shiny down for the count, while Cloverpuss tries to treat her infection. Clauncher, Riolu and Tynamo get into a fight. Tynamo triumphantly kills them both. Excellent! A little fish being murderous on a rampage, and whatever else you can think of. Perfect. Clowitzer loses sight of where she is, and Scizor dies from hunger. Now another shiny! The next day is the feast, which means the cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute families. Luxray and Tynamo gets into a fight over raw meat, but Luxray gives up and runs away. Weavile does not go to the feast. Neither does Cloverpuss or Berserker. Neither does Agron. However, Suicune steps on a landmine. Gigalith decides not to go, while Clowitzer gathers as much food into a bag as she can before fleeing, and Gallade takes a staff, leaning against the cornucopia. Continuing on with the day, Gallade uses an attack on Weavile, but Weavile used a counter. Gallade fainted. Gigalith, Berserker, Tynamo, Agron and Cloverpuss hunt for other tributes. Luxray travels to higher ground, while Clowitzer searches for firewood. 7 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. The 2 shinies, Starly from District 1 and Caterpie from District 11. Clauncher from District 10 and Riolu from District 11. Scizor from District 6 and Suicune from District 4. And Gallade from District 8. On with the next night. Night 8. Cloverpuss finds some potions, and Clowitzer looks at the night sky, gazing at the stars. Luxray, Gigalith and Weavile get into a fight. Gigalith triumphantly kills them both. Tynamo receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Aggron tends to his wounds, and Berserker thinks about home. The next day, on day 9, Gigalith constructs a shack, while Clobberpuss collects fruit from a tree. Aggron repeatedly stabs Berserker to death with Sace, and Clawitza poisons Tynamo's drink. She drinks it and dies. And the fallen tributes, there's 4 this time. Luxray from District 2, Weavile from District 3, Berserker from District 1, and Tynamo from District 10. On with the night, Aggron, Gigalith and Clawitza chiefly sing songs together, while Clobberpuss unknowingly eats toxic berries, killing him instantly. The next day, Clawitza dies from thirst, while Gigalith strangles Aggron after engaging in a fistfight. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Clobberpuss from District 7, Shiny Clawitza from District 5, and Aggron from District 5 as well, leaving Gigalith, Shiny Gigalith, as the winner from District 8. And here we have the placements. Clobberpuss in 4th place. The bronze for this goes to Shiny Clawitza with 3 kills. The silver goes to Aggron with 3 kills, and the winner for the gold medal goes to Gigalith with 4 kills. Alrighty everyone, thank you for tuning in to this week's Hunger Games. I hope you did enjoy yourself. Episode 3 will be coming out the fortnight after. This is now going to be a fortnightly game. So thank you everybody so much again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!